Meet Sam. You might recognize him from this video or this one, or maybe this new documentary. Today, Sam is a different man than the person you might have known in those YouTube videos. Once upon a time, he was a night shift nurse, a hardworking Christian man providing for his family, or so he was saying. As he started to take on extra shifts, at least that's what he tells his wife.
I had no idea when I signed up for Ashley Madison that it would turn into the biggest mistake of my life.
Welcome to my channel. I'm Karen and this is Cheese My Corner. Let's talk about the recently released Netflix documentary Ashley Madison. When we think about dating sites or apps, everyone's got a niche. Bumble up until 2024 had a woman make the first move. Tinder, commonly known as the hookup site, and even websites like farmersingles.com. I mean, it is in the title, guys. Let's be fair, farmers need love. But how about one focus on you having an affair? Or maybe not you, but your partner.
My name is Mark Morgenstern, and originally I was the creative director at Ashley Madison.
For some, marriage is a commitment in writing, and in some instances, to God. But is your marriage boring? Have an affair. Did you just sit down and she asked you to throw out the trash? Have an affair.
At first you had my curiosity, but now you have my erection.
In 2001, there was a stat that 30% of the people on dating websites were married, which was going to give birth to this particular new dating website. But it's not all gloom on Ashley Madison. Let's talk about Rob.
Hi, my name's Rob. I'm attracted to women who have confidence, intelligence, grace. I'm married.
He was one of the first few people to join the website, and his experience is one of the main reasons he did it, because he knew what he was getting from it. He knew he didn't want a divorce, but he also knew that he wanted some action. He was excited to be able to be so detailed, to put exactly what he's into. Something unique is that most dating app sites in that time use a monthly subscription fee. Not this one. The app worked with credits to send messages, which means that anytime you were run out, you needed to add more, which is not the case with me, by the way. If you want to see more of my videos, just subscribe. I have channel stickers. They were ahead of their time, and with the eagerness of their customers wanting to talk to more people, trying to connect with someone, almost forcing you to continue to add more credits over and over again until it was too late.
And when your credits ran out, you had to buy more credits. I think the best way I can put it is you have to pay to play.
Rob had been married for almost 6 years when he joined, and even though he was happy with his wife, he realized that there was something missing, that his marriage was boring and lacking. And then one day he found a woman. It seems in 2001, Darren and Mark Morgenstern used the statistic I share and filled a void in the market space, which created Ashley Madison, named after the two most popular girl names in 2001. At first, they tried to advertise the website as when monogamy becomes monotony, and people actually thought they were talking about wood, like actual wood. So of course, the website was not getting its point until no better man, biter man, Spider-Man came into the picture.
It's for people who are already in relationships but looking to pursue that proverbial something on the side.
He was a sports lawyer and saw the potential the app had. A majority of his clients were already having affairs, so why not make it easier for them and provide a service that claims to be easy and confidential? The next step was, how do we advertise this so that people come to our website? And he said, let's just own it. Let's be honest about what our website does and change the logo to "Life is short, have an affair." And I mean, life is short, but when I think of that, my head doesn't jump to having an affair. Noah wanted to keep it clear and simple, and he did.
You know, life is short. If you're unsatisfied with life, have an affair.
Sam shares that when he was little, his father abandoned them. No one really taught him how to love, and then he saw Big Fish. You guys know that scene where he confesses his love to Sandra?
Sandra Templeton, I love you and I will marry you.
Yeah, Well, from then, he knew he wanted love in his life. And then he met Nia. It was a dream come true. He had found the woman of his dreams. He even shed tears the moment he saw her walk down the aisle. So of course, she had no idea that things would turn out the way they did. Nia was 20 and Sam 24 when they got married. And quickly after that, she got pregnant, life started moving fast, way too fast, and Sam was not ready for it. He envisioned that life will be exciting, that things will come and make it better, but it wasn't like that.
I mean, really, that season of life was like all of my dreams coming to fruition.
Trying to keep up with the bills, racking up debt, making sure there's food at the table, and feeling like he's falling into a boring cycle. The scene from the Big Fish movie was the start, but he wanted to change how his story turned out.
I didn't want to leave my family, but I wanted something exciting in my life.
Without the risk of leaving his marriage, one night while working late at his ER nurse job, he ran into an advertisement for Ashley Madison. He was like, oh shoot, life is short, and if they have that right, then they must have the affair right too.
I signed up with all my real information, which obviously was a stupid decision.
Are you sure about that?
No boy, the mistake was signing up in the first place. Sam on multiple occasions shares that his wife was satisfying him, that she cared for him.
But I wasn't crazy horny. You know, my wife was satisfying me.
Yet, he still reached out to all the women in his area. When he exhausted that list, he began to expand his horizons. Nia, Sam's wife, shares that she was deeply in love with Sam and that she knew he was the one. He had strong values, morals, didn't party, was kind, and a Christian. So of course, she placed all her trust on him.
Not so like out there, come get me sexually, I'm half naked and this is all for you, you know, type thing.
It's crazy to hear Sam talk about the woman that he was interested in, women that were more modest, less revealing, and it's just how ironic. Cheating on your wife, but you want modest woman? Nia started noticing that he was more distant, so she started to become extremely affectionate towards him. This girl was on a mission to make sure that she wasn't going to lose her husband. She was waking up early to cook for him, greeting him with so much love. She wanted to be the perfect wife, even though Sam was not a great husband. But were there even women on this website? The marketing was great at getting men to join, but for this to work, you need a woman.
I think we had about 7 million members in 2010.
Man, have they grown? They had 7 million users at this point, but this was not enough for Noel. He wanted more and wasn't afraid to fly closer to the sun. The advertisement team made the decision to shift the focus, and they threw away the idea that it was about sex, and also the one about depicting women as sexual objects. However, that wasn't the only problem. Their ads were not meant to be on TV, so they were getting rejected everywhere. Then Noel and his PR team decided that he would become the face of the company. So he started to go on talk shows and bringing his wife along with him, sharing his beliefs. He thought that having an affair was like therapy, especially for the people that were stuck in their marriage but loved their partner. He thought at first preserve the concept of marriage and that love is not exclusionary.
I have 2 children. I can only love one of them. That would be a ridiculous notion, but somehow I can only love one woman.
He even had his wife participate in multiple commercials and billboards, and at one point, she was the face of the website. But anytime they were asked if they were in a monogamous relationship, Noel said yes.
Trying to live a monogamous life, raising a traditional family.
He would say that he was the perfect example of what a good marriage looks like. And his wife made it clear that if he ever cheated on her, she would be devastated. They use their marriage as an example that theirs might be perfect, but others aren't because people lack communication skills and at times are afraid to share things with their partners. So when Noel was the face of the company, he needed someone in the background to help this grow more. And what's a successful company without a marketing genius? You see this guy?
You know, you guys decide. I'm sure I look very good and I'm not going to regret any of this.
That's Evan back. And although he wasn't bringing sexy back, him and Noel go way back since they were kiddos. They had a great relationship, so around 2007, Noel called Evan and presented him with the idea of Ashley Madison, $100K salary plus 10% of sales. All he had to do is make sure he could find men that wanted to have affairs and willingly give out their credit card information. There was only one small problem. He had never touched a computer, but that wouldn't be a problem.
And I was like, great, what a great opportunity. I'll learn.
And that didn't stop him. He recognized another issue as well. Women were vital. This spoke to Stephanie. While she didn't have good communication like Noel and his wife, she eventually realized that she was not meant to be in a monogamous relationship. She shares that since she can remember, it was always difficult for her to not cheat. She finds it boring. She loved her partners, but she always found herself cheating on them, describing herself as a serial cheater.
And then my ex-husband, he wasn't in town. He was in the military and he was away.
Yep, while he was in the military, she cheated on him. According to Stephanie, long relationships become a routine. And when she heard about Ashley Madison, well...
So when I first heard about the site Ashley Madison, I thought it was a great fucking idea.
While Ashley Madison was a tool to destroy marriages, it was also a tool to help others like Rob. He shares that he recognized that he's a lucky man. If he meets a woman, he finds her attractive, they hit it off, he can bring her home as long as his wife is okay with it.
Best, you're the best. Love these.
You're welcome.
Were you guys as surprised as I was? Stephanie says that she does not care if he sleeps with other women. This is an agreement both of them made. If she feels uncomfortable and says no, it's no. He doesn't fight. He simply says okay. And the same thing for her. Stephanie is into things that Rob is not, and it works out for them.
I call him Tiny Tim because he's tiny. And any guy can handle Tiny Tim.
She is a dominatrix and gets high on the feeling of being able to control someone. But here's the thing, this is consensual. I think Rob says it best.
I think the real harm when someone cheats is what's done emotionally and to the trust.
It's not the exchange of sex, it's the betrayal, the violation of the trust that you have placed on that person. Everything you thought was sacred has now been destroyed, and that's exactly what happened to Sam and Nia. According to him, he was seeking validation from women that he wasn't getting enough from one, his wife. Anyways, when Frozen came out, you guys remember that song? Love is an open door for you and me. Love is an open door. Yeah, well, that song. Well, for some reason or another, Sam decided they were going to make a video since he knew every video that was being made to this song was going viral. Again, seeking validation and attention, so they did it.
I was like, that's it, we gotta sing to this song. We have to lip sync this song.
They made a video and it went extremely viral. Just notice how when he talks about it, his eyes get all big and he gets a huge smile on his face. I bet he even picked the title. They started getting calls to be in the show, to be included in videos on Christmas specials. And for that period of time, his cheating desires disappeared and he deleted his Ashley Madison account. At least that's what he says. I'm not going to try to disprove it, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? At this point, he decided to keep posting and hunting the excitement, but nothing could have prepared them for what was about to come. When you create a website that makes it easier for someone to cheat, you have to expect you're going to make some enemies. Lots of them, ranging from wives, religious figures, conservative organizations, families, almost anyone that cares about cheaters. And on July 13, 2015, the day finally came. The day Ashley Madison will fall into the void where it belongs. At least you would think so. You know why everyone trusted this website? The security. that was stamped all over this thing. At this point, the internet was new for a lot of people, so many of them were uploading their entire information without even questioning it. Another little fun fact for you all, between the years of 2010 and 2015, we had 19 cyber attacks that threatened the lives of millions of people. One big question is, how secure was your information on a website like Ashley Madison? I mean, their whole thing was secrecy and protection, so were the users safe? Short answer, no, they weren't.
Security was something that came up quite frequently. We talked about it, we were worried about it.
Evan walks into the office, and when he turns his computer on, he realizes that there was a message coming from the screen with a loud rock and roll song playing. The Impact team, a group of hackers, was asking the website to shut down completely or they would release all information from users. Names, date of birth, sexual fantasies, anything you can think of. But how was this possible if they were careful about their security, right? I mean, even Noel said,
I think we do everything we can to protect privacy.
That the billing was secretive, the servers were in a remote location, they'd have signs displaying at the bottom of the website. You see this bad boy right here? This screams safe website to me. It's a badge, it must be real. I think someone made it at the office using Photoshop. So then came the anti-hacker man.
Most of my clients are like government agencies. It's national security related, offensive security.
Who are hackers, but like good ones? Anyway, they hired these two Swedish men, Joel Eriksson and Andre. Their job was to find a hacker and get him out of the system. But this was a task that would turn out to be more difficult than it seemed. The truth is that there was no protection. Noel always left the security part in the back burner.
The promise of security and anonymity and guarantee and safety was just something we said.
And when it came to finding the hacker, their best idea was to delete all the information on the hard drives.
When we arrived to Ashley Madison, it seemed to me they were doing things like erasing hard drives.
So Noel might be a good businessman, but he's an idiot. For 7 days, this information had been kept within the company. But on July 20, 2015, the Impact team released their statement to the world. Everyone was on edge. At this point, 37 million people were on the site. 37 million. Well, some were eager to find out who was on that website. Others were scared because they were about to lose it all.
I heard about Ashley Madison being hacked. The title appeared on Yahoo News. I didn't even want to consider it.
Sam was one of them. He knew what was happening and he was scared to his bones. If people found out, it would go against his values. His wife would be destroyed. But since they were trying for a baby and he had dreamed about announcing Nia's pregnancy to her, he decided to get pee from the toilet, do a test, and then announce it to her while eating breakfast. Within 2 days, the video gathered 5 million views. They were able to get in talk shows, news, they got invited to places, more eyes, more viewers, more subscribers. But some people started to question, was that test accurate? How accurate can the test from the toilet be? An article released by BuzzFeed News says that they contacted Dr. White from the Mayo Clinic, and she said, if there is a chemical in the toilet, like a cleaner or bleach, their results will be affected. And not only that, but right after this video, a few days later, they released a now deleted video called Our Baby Had a Heartbeat, where both of them cried crocodile tears. Many people thought they were lying, especially because they never visited the doctor, not for the pregnancy, not for the miscarriage. So how do we even know if they were pregnant? Well, we don't. But Sam kept uploading videos with more announcements. Quitting my job, false. Someone in BuzzFeed actually called his job and they confirmed he still worked there. All of the fame they got led to Sam's dream coming true. He was getting attention. He was being noticed so much they got invited to blogging conventions. But this is still about Ashley Madison, and Sam is beginning to freak out. The Impact team is giving Ashley Madison 30 days to shut down the website, or else all information will be released. The police try to get involved, but Ashley Madison was doing some illegal stuff themselves, so they practically refused to help. However, Joel was still on the case and was able to get a lead.
The hackers had connected using software as if they were an employee.
They got in contact with a suspect. Let's call him Suspect A or Bob, but I think Suspect A sounds more professional. So they schedule a meetup where they offer him money to pay his mortgage off. He refused. Suspect A said he had nothing to do with it. He continues to deny this, even when the police contact him. So there's nothing they could charge him with, because he never confessed to anything.
When he did not confess to the police, they could not hold him on these circumstances.
At this point, Ashley Madison was back to square one, and they started to brace for the fall. They hired lawyers to protect themselves for what was about to come.
The hackers who stole private data from the cheating website, Ashley Madison, just followed through on their threat.
On August 19, 2015, the information was released. People from all occupations listed: school principals, state attorneys, Joanny Livales, Snooki's husband, reality TV star Josh Duggar, Real Housewives of New York, Kristen's husband, Josh, 15,000 email addresses linked to government entities. Amongst all these men was a man named John, a professor at a seminary married to lovely little Christy. They lived in New Orleans for 30 years, and they were part of a very close community where everyone knows your business. They met when she was 23. John is charismatic, charming, and an incredible letter writer. Christy remembers how exciting it was to receive his letters. She knew she wanted to be with him forever. So when she was 24, they got married.
He was very idealistic, and I felt like we wanted the same thing.
She knew their marriage was not perfect, but they made it seem like it was. She still remembers when the Ashley Madison information was leaked, and she had a feeling that his name was there. John had a tendency to keep secrets, but he wasn't very good at it. Early on, she saw some red flags that led her to believe that he was cheating on her, but would tell herself that she was saying things. She then discovered some inappropriate relationships, and one time she found letters from someone else to him.
I think the letters were one of the hardest things. That was our thing, and that hurt.
Are you crying? What's that? Are you crying? Am I crying? No, I'm not crying. You're crying.
When she heard about Ashley Madison, she tried to dig, but decided not to further, coming to terms with the idea of never talking about this. So she closed her computer and moved on. And that was the end of the story in regards to her trying to find him on the list, because 6 days later, John would have her receive a final message. Now, I want to give a trigger warning for anyone who might be sensitive to anything related to these topics. You can skip ahead, and I'll see you soon. Christy woke up, smelled her coffee. John joined her, and they made breakfast together. They talked dinner plans, eating, leftovers for dinner, and then she left to work. When she came back home, one of her friends was waiting outside. She was concerned because her phone had been ringing nonstop. Her friend prompted her to go inside, and she walked into the kitchen. He wasn't there. The room, empty. Only one other place. She heads to the garage, and that's where she found him. Realizing now that the sound her friend heard was the carbon monoxide alarm, she reached for him, but he was cold to the touch. At this point, it had been hours. She went back inside, called her friend, and even while talking to her, she couldn't say it right.
I said, I think John is dead.
She still remembers all the people rushing into her house, talking to her, trying to comfort her, and then someone told her they needed to talk to her about what happened today. To be clear, yes, he passed away, but did he do this to himself? When he went into work, his boss called him in, and this is when they told John his name was on the website. He was already prepared to give his resignation. John was destroyed. According to many people, he was in tears. This was a school for ministry. There was no way that he could ever see himself walking into a classroom again. Christy shares that people might blame the website, but she blames the cancer of secrecy, the witch hunt, the shame. She would defend him using a verse from the Bible. When men were stoning women caught in adultery, Jesus said, "Let you who are without sin cast the first stone." Those seeking answers are not free from sin. Now, in Karen fashion, I decided to lurk around and see what Christy is up to now. And it's nice to know that she's now traveling across the country in an RV. She talks about her life with God and her experiences, and she also released a book called This Hope Remains. Can't say I've read it, but check it out if you like. Christy unfortunately didn't suffer from these actions alone, as many women, and I'm sure men did too, like Sam and Nia. Oh boy, we are not done yet.
Everyone was digging through it, looking for dirt, looking for names that they recognized.
They were on their way to a family blogging conference, excited for this opportunity, yet Sam was looking through Twitter, but not for excited fans. No, Dirty Little Secret Man was hoping that he wouldn't find his name in the data dump. And while scrolling through it, he found his name.
Did I just scoop that Sam Rader was found in the Ashley Madison dump?
His hand forced, he told Nia. She took it as well as she could and kept her composure. She didn't talk to him though. She asked not to be seated next to him in the plane, and while she's doing her interview, she's sharing that she thought she was doing a great job as a wife. Nia wanted to win the best wife, and from her reaction to forgive him and even being intimate with him that night, yep, she wanted to still clap cheeks. She was an awesome wife. The next day, they're going to the convention, pretending as if nothing happened. People are staring at them, whispering as they walked in, and Sam realizing that articles about him were popping everywhere, and people were reading them. Now, all eyes are on Nia. Poor girl, poor wife. Why would he do that to her?
And it's just unbelievable to me that I'm in the news for this. It just didn't make any sense to me that people cared.
When you put yourself in a position of high ground, you are the perfect husband, you love your wife, you share the word of God, and then your name is found on a website dedicated to having an affair, to cheat on your partners, how do you expect people to treat you? Back in the hotel, Nia and Sam are getting pressure from all sides to give an answer, to tell everyone if he cheated. And here's where they make a video where he confesses to being part of that website, but not to having any affairs. In this video, he talks about his wife's forgiveness, and most importantly, God's forgiveness. He says he has been clear of all the sins he committed because his wife and God clear him of all sins. The end goal of the video was to clear the rumor and to put a stop to the accusations. And it did. But keep in mind, he was lying. So looking back at the video, he looks stupid because Nia didn't know the entire story.
I knew how phony that video was in the moment. Like, I knew what I was doing. I kept ignoring it.
She had forgiven him for half of the things he did because he didn't share the other half. But we'll get to that. The day after they posted the video, they attended the second day of the conference, and Nia shares that she felt like the embarrassment had washed away. This entire time, she was under the impression that he didn't have an affair. Now, this is something they don't mention in the documentary, but they actually got kicked out of the conference.
Well, we just got kicked out of Vlogger Fair, guys. Nia's really upset with me. So was a couple other people.
Sam says on the video he filmed 8 years ago that other influencers were ganging up on him, calling him out on faking a pregnancy. But it wasn't because of Ashley Madison. So when they went home that night and she sees that the family chat is going crazy, even a text from his brother saying, "Sam, you have to be fully honest." Sam goes into full defense mode. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's trying to stir stuff up. Ignore him. But according to him, he had deeper secrets, not just Ashley Madison. Back in the offices of Ashley Madison, Andre began to question if Noel, the CEO, the one that went on tour, the one that changed the direction of the company, was behind all of this, that he created this to benefit himself. I mean, it was right before the IPO. It's the perfect timing. Noel stopped showing up to the office when the ship was sinking, and then it got worse. The Impact team made another move. A second release of data happened that contained 20 gigabytes of data, including intellectual property, trade secrets, internal documents, files, spreadsheets, and floor plans. Oh, and Noel's personal and business emails. But before we get into those emails, let's talk about Michelle McGee.
My pistachio for the world to see. Pistachio.
You guys might know her as the woman that had an affair with Sandra Bullock's ex-husband, Jesse James. Ashley Madison wanted her. They loved her. They really wanted to create a promotional video where they would paint her as a cheater, the sexy woman. This is what you can have. So they called her up, and Michelle shares that the first time she met up with Noel, it was with his family. He presented himself as a well-cut man, conservative, but the moment they left, it's like he was replaced by someone else. Let this interaction give you some insight on who he was. Okay, so back to the second data drop. Everyone started going through his emails, and the emails would show the real man he was. Remember, he used to claim he was in a monogamous relationship where he didn't cheat. He never did anything bad. He hosted the website, but was not a cheater. Yet, those emails showed a different story.
Noel had been having affairs with multiple women over a period of years.
And not only was he a cheater, he was a liar. He contacted multiple escort websites with specific ages for those he wanted to hire, 18 and 19-year-olds preferable. After this, things took a turn where the Swedish cybersecurity was let go because their job was damage control, and there's nothing else they could do at this point. So the police got involved for a second time. On August 24, 2015, they held a press conference and tried to scare the hackers.
I want to make it very clear to you, your actions are illegal and we will not be tolerated. This is your wake-up call. Today, I can confirm that Avid Life Media is offering a $500,000 reward.
$500,000 to bring any information that would lead to them identifying who it was. Yet it never worked. Enter Joseph, a journalist who understood the damage this was causing and was determined to find them. So he went into the dark web. He came across a post that talked about the Impact team and the hack they had just done. So he really hoped that if he sent this person a message, they could pass his message to them. He wanted to get into the reasons why they were doing what they were doing, so he reached out to them. It didn't take long when he got an email opportunity to send in his questions. When did you guys start hacking them? A long time ago. What were your motivations for the hack? We watched their numbers grow. We wanted to stop the next 60 million people from joining. Acting as a drug dealer, taking advantage of addicts. What do you think of Noel's reaction? We weren't surprised. They make $100K in fraud a year. Second batch of data, it was discovered that they misled their users. And Joseph decided to go into the second batch and find legitimate information on their claims of fraud. And he did. He found a bunch of emails where the security of the clients was always a second thought, and all the medals at the bottom of the website that claimed to be incredibly secure were made up. See? I told you. Remember the deleted feature for an extra $18.99, which allows you to pay for them to delete all your information, photos, emails, and completely wipe up your account? Yep, this feature alone brought the company $1 million in 1 year. However, they lied. And there's even an email directed to Noel that says we still don't actually delete the accounts, admitting to false advertisement. Not only that, but you guys remember Michelle? Well, it turns out that when she was working at the strip club, there were a total of 3 times random men would come to her dressing room and bring her gifts, but she never met them. Well, it's because Noel had a profile created using her name, email, and photos, and she was not the only one. There were many more fake profiles of women trying to have an affair. He will go on to the news saying that the uptick on women on the website was growing and growing, but in reality, he was the one creating those profiles. The employees knew, Noel knew, and they would use bot chats with photos to lure men in. Granted, it worked. Women could go onto the website for free, and here you are preying on men to pay to be able to communicate with them. Well, it's all fake. Even when the messages seemed extremely robotic, they didn't realize that. They had no idea. It's deeply sad and depressing. Finally, one day, everyone comes into the office and they are told things will be changing, and Noel was removed.
My intention was to go to my grave with this and not tell her.
Just like Noel, Sam was hiding many more secrets after his brother called him out in the group chat. He pulls over and calls his pastor, and while he's talking to him, he hopes that his pastor is going to tell him, "Don't tell her, take it to the grave, just pretend." But he knows damn well that he needs to come clean to Nia. While in the car, he just starts telling her everything, starting from massage parlors, strip clubs, and emotional affairs with people they were friends with. He even tried to sleep with one of her closest friends.
I lost this very close friend because of you. There's a lot to face in a moment.
Sam said that he talked about in an hour, if not hours, dropping information on Nia. They played this clip where Nia is saying that her life just crumbled apart. Every special moment she had was fading, her wedding, when they met.
I felt like literally my world was like crumbling.
And I just cried so much for Nia, but like actually cried, not the way that Sam cries. She then made a decision to send him somewhere else while she figured out what she wanted to do. Sam still remembers when they met to take their daughter to her first day of kindergarten, and he saw how different life will be without them together. This is where his eyes were open. Now realizing the damage that he had done, he wanted their marriage to work. So he made it clear to her, but Nia was not sure if she could. Eventually, they agreed to have marital counseling. Nia wanted someone to go off on him. She wanted someone to side with her, to tell her that she was right. So they fixed their marriage, at least that's what it seems like. Sam is a joke, realizing now what he could lose after doing countless terrible acts behind Nia's back. It's almost as if he was okay losing it because he could rebuild it without her, but not the channel and the fame that came with it. He couldn't risk losing that now that he had that. In my opinion, Sam and Nia had a taste of fame, recognition, attention, and wanted more. So they decided to stay together, to exploit their children and God for views. If you take a quick look at their channel, you would realize that all they care about is the attention they receive. In one of their videos, Nia talks about one scene in particular that she did not want air, where her and the children would have dinner without Sam. And she talks about how hurtful and impactful it will be to the kids' life, the trauma it will cause when they grow up. But I wonder if she feels the same way about some of the videos on her channel that she still has up to this day. In one of them, she has her oldest daughter naked and she barely blurred the photo. Their most popular videos have their kids on it, and one of them shows her daughter's barefoot, as if to entice a very specific audience. There's another video with the title, "He Finally Got It Out." On the thumbnail, it shows the child showing the size while there's a poop emoji in his hands. Like, what the actual fuck? Ashley Madison speculated that the Impact team wasn't really a team, but one person. Because usually when it's a team and the reward money comes in, someone breaks apart from the team. In this case, that never happened. There were speculations that the hacker was actually someone that worked very closely with the company, someone high up. All leads led nowhere, and they weren't able to figure out who it was to this day. Later on, many users filed a class action lawsuit where they received $11 million, but their information would be on the internet forever, and the lives of those John and Christy will never be the same. I personally don't blame the website for being a tool to infidelity. I blame the husbands and wives that took advantage of their partners. There's no question that this news impacted many, divorce, debt, and while some might have held on, the curtains for many reveal who they truly were. As for this too, if you are wondering if the website's still up, it is. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, let me know if you like this. It was a big mix-up from what I normally do, but I have always wanted to make long-form content. I hope you guys like this, and I'll love nothing more than to hear your thoughts. As always, leave a like and subscribe, and we'll be back with more Chisme soon. Bye.